How to make a static website. A static website has fixed content. It does not require programming languages to build one. It is the easiest form of website to create. Static websites are built of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So why create a static website? Static websites are quick and easy to create. It is cheap to host. Static websites are secure. It is fun, and you can create awesome sites with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what do I need to know to build a static website? So you need to know basics of HTML, basics of CSS, and JavaScript. The best way to learn is get practical. So create a static website with HTML3 spaces, and we're gonna see a website like this. This is a demo. We're gonna click here and we're gonna be checking this example. So how do I get started? There are two ways to start building a static website: building from scratch, as we did in the previous video, or using a template. So right now we're gonna be using a template, building a static website from scratch. So you can check out this article or check out the previous video. Building with a template. Starting with template is a good way to get inspired and to learn. We have already made templates that you can use. Here are some examples, and as I show you, we have this example. For example, you can click in demo and you can check out. So you have this website. This static website has a Facebook, has Instagram, it has Snapchat, it has Twitter. So this is a blog, and you have some people are liking it. You have some replies here. Some people are commenting. At the end, we're gonna have a footer. So you have follow me, so you can have your social media here. You can have a subscribe me. Back to the top, powered by w3.css. So we can have this example. You can click and try yourself, and you are gonna check out they're gonna show you the code. So this is the whole code for this particular website. Now we also have another demo. We have this one. Let's click in demo. So these are static websites, and static websites okay, so we have the home, we have the portfolio, we have the contact, okay, and we have some images here. We have the content, email, message, send, and let me see, we have one more. So let's click in demo. Okay, so we're gonna have home, about, portfolio, contact, my website logo. We also have a search bar. And okay, so this is a blog about me. My name is blah blah blah. I am really good at blah blah blah. And load more. What else do we have here? And we have some contact information: Chicago, US, email, name, send the message. Okay, so we are gonna be checking out this example here, this demo. As you can see, this is the demo presentation that they're using. I have one for my that I'm gonna grab for my website, since I don't have one, but I'm gonna open it with Alt+L+O. So this is gonna be my website. So I'm gonna have my YouTube channel, my Instagram, my Twitter. I'm gonna have a search bar. So I have my programming.js. If I click it, it's gonna link me to my YouTube channel. So if I click it, it's gonna link me here. And what else do we have here? You have the subscribe. I put some images here. I have put some RTX images here, and it's pretty much the same as this one. So I just modify a little bit. So we're gonna be working with this. I grab a couple of pictures. This is the front end, back end. This is a REST API. And what else do we have here? We have frameworks, AI. You can put some picture here. I have my social media. I have the YouTube channel here. We have Instagram. We have Instagram here, and Twitter. So sending us to Twitter too. And finally, we have the subscribe. We have the enter your email, and at the end, I put the programming.js and also a YouTube button. So you click, and it's gonna send us to our YouTube, to my YouTube channel. So we're gonna go to Visual Studio Code, and this is pretty much the code that we're working with. And as you can see, it's pretty extensive. There are around like 336 lines of code. So we can start. Yeah, we can go to index.html, and yeah, we can start typing the whole thing, or I just can basically let's start here. Okay, so we're gonna go to the index.html file, and we're gonna press shift exclamation mark, so we have a template to work with like that. And what do we have here? So I have the title. We're just gonna have the title here, just gonna be, you can put my website, and gonna be my website like this. Okay, so let's go to our website. Okay, so you have your title here, and okay, so now we're gonna go inside of the head section, but we're gonna have 1 2 3 4 links elements. So let's just copy and paste it. So we're gonna go below the meta element, and we're gonna have 4 link elements. Okay, so like this, we're gonna have 4 link elements with the rel attribute, and it's gonna be a style sheet, and the href is gonna send us to this URL, the https:// www.w3schools.com/w3css/4/w3.css. Then we're gonna have the second one is gonna send us to the fonts.google APIs. The third one is gonna send us again to the Google APIs, and the fourth one is gonna be the CDN.js. So we're gonna save it, we're gonna open it. So this is our website up to this point. It's looking fairly simple. There's nothing in it yet. And this is inside of the head section. Now we're gonna go inside of the style. That is again inside of the head section. We are gonna grab the style attribute, the style element I mean, and it's gonna be below the link. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna have the style element. Inside of the style element, we're gonna have the h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, and h6. We're gonna open curly braces, and we're gonna have the font family is gonna be Oswald. The body is gonna have the font family of OpenSense. Okay, so we're gonna save it. We're gonna go to our website. We don't have anything yet, so we are gonna go to our Visual Studio Code. This is up to this point we're working inside of the head section. Now we're gonna go inside of the body section, and inside of the body section, okay, inside of the body section like this, we are gonna have a class. And okay, the body section is gonna have a class of, we're just gonna copy this part. We're gonna be copying and pasting some of those parts because there are like 300 lines of code, so we can move along a little faster. Okay, this body element is gonna have a class attribute of w3-light-gray. Okay, so This is gonna be for inside of the body section. Now we're gonna have a div. We're gonna copy and paste, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna paste it right here. Okay, so we are gonna have a div element inside of the body section, and here we have the comment says navigation bar with social media icons, and these are my social media icons I'm using here. And the next video, probably tomorrow, we're gonna be dealing with GitHub. So I'm gonna use get pages to send this HTML static website to GitHub so we can host it there, and then I'm gonna be having it instead of my actual or my current website. So where is it? This one is gonna be my static website tomorrow, so this one is gonna be okay. So now we're gonna have the navigation bar, and again we have the div element, we have the class attribute is gonna be w3-bar, w3-black, w3-height-small, and we're gonna have inside of the div element we're gonna have 4 A elements with 4 href attributes, and inside of the href attributes we are going to have the URLs. So for line 24 we are dealing with the YouTube channel, so we're going to have the URL of my YouTube channel and using target, the target attribute =, double quotes, underscore blank. So when you click it, it's going to open in a new tab. It's not going to open in the current tab, but it's going to be in a new one. And the class attribute is going to be w3-bar-item, w3-button, and it's going to have an I element with a class attribute of fa-YouTube. We're going to close the I tag and the I element tag. So that is done. We are gonna be doing the same for the what is this one, Instagram. And again we have the A element, we have the href, and inside of the href we are gonna have the URL of, in this case, my Instagram. We're gonna use the target, so it opens in a new tab. It's gonna be target =, double quotes, underscore blank. The class is gonna be w3-bar-item, w3-button. We're gonna have an I element with a class of fa-Instagram. So we have the Instagram icon, we have the YouTube icon. We're gonna have the Twitter icon for line 26 now, and it's gonna be the same. You have the A element, the href. Inside of the href you're gonna have the URL, you have your target underscore blank, and this is gonna be for the Twitter. So I'm just gonna have YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And finally we're gonna have the href, and it's gonna send us to the $, and this one is gonna be search. So let's open it. And okay, up to this point we have the YouTube, the Instagram, the Twitter, and we have the search bar. So if I click in the YouTube icon, is gonna send us to my YouTube channel. The Instagram is gonna send us to my Instagram channel, and if I click in Twitter, it's gonna send us to my Twitter channel, like this. And okay, you also have the search bar. So we have this up to this point. Okay, so now we're gonna move into the, okay, we are done with the navigation bar. Now we're gonna have okay, we're gonna copy and paste this one. It's gonna be below that div. Okay, let's move a little bit to the right, and we're gonna have this comment: w3 content defines a container for fixed size center content and is wrap around the whole page content except for the footer in this example. So here we have this div element with a class attribute of w3-content. The style attribute is going to be max-width, and it's going to be 1600 pixels. We can close this page here, and yeah, we don't need this page. Okay, so What else do we have here? Okay, so it's gonna be the Steve. We are having, let's make it a little smaller. We are gonna have the Steve with a class. Okay, so, and we're gonna have the header, the image header, the grid, and okay, so we are gonna have a bunch of code here. I might well okay, so let's just grab this whole div. Maybe let's just grab this whole div. Okay, let's just grab this whole div, and okay, I'm gonna paste it right here, save it. And again, we're dealing with hundreds of lines of code. If it wasn't for that, I would just type it. But okay, let's go to, we're gonna be in line 30, and okay, we're gonna be in line 32. We have this div element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen content. The style attribute is gonna be the max hyphen width 1600 pixels. We are gonna have a header, okay, inside of this header element, we're gonna have the class attribute is gonna be w3 hyphen container, w3 hyphen center, w3 hyphen padding hyphen 48, w3 hyphen white. We're gonna have an h1 and an h6. The h1 is gonna have a class attribute of w3 hyphen triple x large, and in this case I'm using the a element and href, and I'm using this URL that is going to be the YouTube channel, the target, blank, and programming.js. And we're going to have an h6. A heading 6 is going to say welcome to the website of, we're going to use the span element with a class attribute, and the context is going to be programming.js. We're gonna end the span tag, and we're gonna we're gonna end the h6 tag, and we're gonna end the header tag. So we are looking up to this point, just up to the header. And okay, so we go here, we're gonna be dealing with this is just the header. We are having the welcome to the website of programming.js, and I'm having an href here. So when you click in programming.js, it's gonna send us to this URL. So if I click it, let me see. Okay, programming.js. When I click it, this is my header. It's gonna send us to the YouTube channel. So that is that. Okay. Now we're gonna go into the line 40. That is gonna be the image header. Okay, so we're gonna have the header element from lines 41 to 48. So we're gonna be just dealing from 41 to 48. We're gonna tackle this by parts. So we're gonna have this header element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen display hyphen container, w3 hyphen white, and an ID is gonna be home. So ID equal double quotes, inside of the double quotes is gonna be home. This is gonna be the ID. We're gonna have the image element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen image, and the source is gonna be pjs. Well, this is the file that I have in this folder. This folder name is test, and here I have a bunch of images. So I'm choosing this pjs.png, and I have it over here. It's gonna be this one. So it's gonna be this image that I have here. So I'm gonna be choosing that, and I have other images. You can grab some images, and you make sure that you are saving it in your folder test that you're working with, or that you're working on it. So I'm gonna grab this file. The old is gonna be, you can have any reference. I'm just gonna type in web development. The width is gonna be 1600 pixels, and the height is gonna be 1060 pixels. Okay, outside of that, we're gonna have a div element with a class attribute, and it's gonna be w3 hyphen display hyphen left and w3 hyphen party hyphen large. And inside of that we're gonna have an h1, two h1s, and one h6. That is gonna be, the h1 is gonna have a class of w3 hyphen text hyphen white, and the context is gonna be programming.js. As you can see it here, programming.js is gonna be this part here. Then we're gonna have another h1 again with the class w3 hyphen jumbo, w3 hyphen text hyphen white, hyphen 3 hyphen height hyphen small, and it's gonna be web development, so it's gonna be this part. Now we're gonna, and web development is inside of the b element, and you can read this information. And we're gonna end the heading 1 tag. Now finally we're gonna have the h6, and inside of the h6 we're gonna have a button with a class of w3 hyphen button, w3 hyphen white, w3 hyphen padding hyphen large, w3 hyphen large, w3 hyphen opacity, w3 hyphen hover hyphen opacity hyphen off. And we're gonna have an unclick event, and we're gonna be using document.get element by id, and it's gonna be inside of the parentheses. We're gonna have single quotes, is gonna be subscribe. We're gonna chain it to the style.display equal sign, and we're gonna have inside single quotes black, and we're gonna close the double quotes, and the context is just gonna be subscribes. And then we're gonna end the button tag and the heading 6 tag, and this is what we have here. So we have subscribe, this button, we have the programming.js, the web development, and I can click subscribe, and as you can see, subscribe, join my mailing list to receive updates on the latest blog posts and other things. So we still don't do this part, we just created this button, subscribe, but this is how it should look like. So we're gonna continue moving. So we finish with the header, with the image header. Now we're gonna go to line 50, that is gonna be the grid. So we're gonna have this div element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen row, w3 hyphen party, w3 hyphen border. Okay, so in line 53 we're gonna have the block entries. So we're gonna have a div element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen call 18 s12, and inside of that we're gonna have block entry. And again we're gonna have another div element with a class of w3 hyphen container, w3 hyphen white, w3 hyphen margin, w3 hyphen padding hyphen large. And inside of that we're gonna have another div, and as you can see we're gonna have a bunch of divs inside of divs inside of divs, but we're gonna move along. So from lines 58 to 61 we are gonna have this div element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen center, and using this h3 heading 3 element is gonna be programming.js. And now I'm gonna have an h5 that is gonna say NVIDIA RTX 3060, comma space, we're gonna have a span element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen opacity, and we can put whatever date. We're gonna end the span tag, and we're gonna end the h5 heading, and we're gonna close this div. So this is how it should look like. Programming.js, NVIDIA RTX, and this is the date. So as you can see, this is darker, or kind of like a more black. So I have this image here. I have here NVIDIA RTX. Okay, so we have this up to this point. So we're just dealing with this context, so we don't have the image yet. So now we're gonna go from lines 63, and we're gonna have this div element with a class attribute of w3 hyphen justify. We're gonna have the image, and the source is gonna be RTX 3060. This is the picture that I have here, so it's gonna be I have it here in my folder. It's gonna be it's gonna be this one. So I'm choosing this picture, so make sure that you have those files inside of your folder that you're working on. And the alt is going to be NVIDIA RTX 3060. The style is going to be with calling 100%. The class is going to be W3-padding-16. We're going to have the paragraph. We're going to have the strong element. It's going to be NVIDIA RTX 3060 strong element, and you can put more information here. I'm just putting NVIDIA RTX 3060 to move faster maybe. So now I'm gonna have 3 paragraphs from lines 66 to 68. So we're gonna have 3 paragraphs. So okay, in the first paragraph in line 66, we're gonna have the class attribute of W3-left. We're gonna have a button. It's gonna be class W3-button. We're gonna have an unclick event. We're gonna have like functions and parentheses. We're gonna use this parameter this, and we're gonna have this I element with a class attribute fa-thumbs-up, and we're gonna have the context is gonna be like, and we're gonna end the B tag. We're gonna end the button tag and the paragraph tag. And this is how it should look like. So we're seeing this image that I save in my folder. We have this text NVIDIA RTX, we have the other text, we have the like button here. Okay, up to this point everything's working. And now we're gonna go to line 67 that we're gonna have again. It's gonna be the same. We're gonna have another button, and it's gonna be unclick demo. This is gonna be reply, so they're talking about this one. This button here, replies, is gonna be the same. We're gonna just have the only difference is that the unclick event, we're gonna be using my function, open parentheses, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have single quotes is gonna be demo1. So we have this my function, which means we're gonna be using a little bit of JavaScript, and you can see that. So we're gonna move a little faster now. We're gonna have in line 68, we're gonna have the paragraph when a class attribute of W3-clear. We're gonna end the paragraph, and then we're gonna have another div element. So we're gonna have this div element, and this div element is gonna have a class attribute W3-row, W3-margin-bottom with an ID of demo1. The style is going to be display now. We're going to have an HR, and it's going to be a div element with a class attribute of W3-colon. And 3, we're going to have this image. You can put some image here if you want. I didn't put anything. I put the style is going to be width 90 pixels. And we're gonna end this div here, and we're gonna open a new div with a class attribute of W3-call L10 and 9, and we're gonna have H4, and we're gonna have some name. In this case the name is gonna be George. The paragraph is gonna be create blog post following. So we have the date here and the line 75, and as you can see here, well, okay, one reply here. Let me check it out. Let me refresh it. Okay, so we can see it. Okay, so one reply. Okay, let me see. Okay, so we have this here, one reply. We have, what else do we have here? Full stacks. Okay, so now we're gonna, okay, so this is the one. So we have George, great post following. So you can click here on the reply to see it. And what else do we have here? Okay, so that is that for this first post, that NVIDIA RTX 3060, and we're gonna do the same for the following one. So we are here, we're closing the div element, and we're gonna be closing a bunch of div elements. So we're gonna be closing div elements, we're gonna put an hr at the end. So now we are in line 83, and we're gonna do pretty much the same thing. And in this case we're gonna have block entry, and it's gonna be programming JS. I'm gonna use the from backend development, and I'm gonna be using this here. I'm grabbing this this picture, and I don't remember where I grabbed it, but credits where the owners are. Okay, so we are gonna have, again, it's gonna be the same thing, so you can check out this code. And what else do we have here? It's gonna be the same one here. And now we're gonna move to the as you can see, you have two replies here, as we can saw in the previous one. This one is Amber, we have the day, we have some context love code. Angie, we have the date and some context, we have the like button here. And finally we're gonna have the third block entry. In this case, it's gonna be line 123. It's gonna be block entry. We're gonna have div element inside of the div element. We're gonna have more div elements inside of that. We're gonna have an h3 programming JS. We're gonna have an h5. In this case, I just put a REST API. Okay, we're gonna close the div element, then we're gonna open an next div element with a class attribute of w3 justify, and this is where we put the image. We're using the image element, the source element, and we already saw that so in the previous example. So we're moving a little bit faster here, and here we're using the onClick event, and in line 135 we're also using the onClick event, and the function is going to be my function with the demo3. Okay, so that is that. And yeah, now we're gonna have example of comment field. So we're gonna have a bunch of the div elements, an hr div elements. We're gonna have each image element with a source attribute, and I didn't put any images for this. So as you can see, let me see where it was. Okay, for example, it was for this one. I didn't put any images here, so you can put in your images if you want. So we are gonna have this example here. Okay, now we have Jane REST API, so we are here in the three replies. As you can see, they don't have a picture, so you can add some picture if you want here. It has to be in your image element. Your image element, it has the file name, has to be in the source attribute. So that's pretty much it, how you do that. Now we're gonna move to the end block entries. Okay, we're gonna have the about information menu, and again we're gonna have the div element with a class attribute w3-call 14, and we're gonna have this image source RTX 3060, and this part is gonna be this one that I have here. I grab this image, I put it here. So we're gonna have this about information, and as you can see, it's a bunch of divs. Inside of the divs we have the image element. If you want to put a picture, you use the source attribute. We're gonna have another div element. Inside of that we're gonna have the h4 and BDR, and then we're gonna have a paragraph like this. Then we're gonna have some posts. So popular posts, I put some pictures for each of those popular posts. So, and again we have a div element with a class attribute. Then an h4 is going to be the popular post. We're going to have a UL, and the class attribute you have it here. We have a list item, and then inside of the list item we are going to have the image element with the source attribute. I'm putting from back and it's gonna be from back end development, so it's gonna be this one. And you can follow along. As you can see, we have the span, we have a line break, we have another span. That is for the first list item. We're gonna have a next list item, and it's gonna be JS PNG, so it's JS JavaScript. This one is gonna be the next list item, and it's gonna be HTML, and then we're gonna have the final li for the CS. As you can see, HTML and then CSS. So this are all the concepts that we already saw in HTML, so that's the reason I'm moving a little bit faster. So we are almost done here. We are in line 221. We're gonna have the advertising, we're gonna have the div element, we're gonna have the class attribute, we're gonna have another div element. Inside of that, we're gonna have a heading for full stack, so it's gonna be this one. I just grabbed this picture, put it here, and to do that you have to use the image element with the source attribute, and you put the name of your file. For example, my file is from -back, so it's gonna be, what is it, it's gonna be from, okay, it's this one. So, and again, I don't remember where I grabbed it, but credit to its owner, so it's not mine, but I just grabbing it for fair use for educational purposes. Now we're gonna go into the tags. So we're gonna have, again, we're gonna have the div element. Inside of that, we're gonna have an h4, we're gonna have the frameworks, and inside of the frameworks I named some frameworks: Angular, JS, MongoDB, React, Node.js, HTML, Vue, Heroku, GitHub, Java, CSS, AWS. So you can put all this information here, and we already saw this concept. We have the span element with the class attribute, and this is how you're gonna do it. For example, let's do just the first one, the 241. We're gonna have the span element, the class attribute. You have to put this attribute, and the context is gonna name it just Angular. We're gonna close the span element, we're gonna open another span element with a different class attribute, and we're gonna have JS. We're gonna close the span element, and so we're gonna keep moving like that. Then we're gonna have an HR, and then the inspiration. The inspiration is gonna be inspiration. Okay, so it's gonna be this one, and the inspiration, or I just name it AI or artificial intelligence. I just put some bunch of concepts. So this one, I didn't put any images. That is the reason that we don't have any of those images, but you can pretty much put your images here. And again, you have to grab or have to type in div elements. Inside of that, we're gonna have the paragraph element, we're gonna have the image element with the source attribute, and this is where you put your file. The all is gonna be machine learning, computer engineering. Okay, we're gonna have another one, and it's gonna be computer science, AWS. And again, you can put your own pictures here. So that is that. It's pretty much the same. We're gonna move along. We're gonna have our HR, and okay, so now we're gonna have a div element again with a class attribute, and it's gonna be follow me, and it's gonna be this one with our social media. And again, it's pretty much like we did it in the start. We're gonna have this div element. Inside of that, we're gonna have the 4 A elements with href, and inside of the href, we're gonna have the URLs, and we're gonna use the target underscore blank like this. So we already saw that. Now we're gonna have in line 281, we're gonna have subscribe. So it's gonna be this one, and we are almost done here. So we have the subscribe, we're gonna have the div element with a class attribute, we're gonna have another div element. Inside of the div element, we're gonna have an h4, it's gonna be subscribe like this. Okay, so outside of that, we're gonna have another div element with a class attribute, this one. We're gonna have the paragraph, enter your email below and get notified on the latest blog post, as you can see here. Okay, so now we're gonna have in line 288, we're gonna have the paragraph, we're gonna have the input element with a class attribute with a type text. We're gonna have a placeholder attribute, enter email inside of the double quotes, and the style is gonna be with colon 100%. We're gonna end the paragraph tag. In line 289, we're gonna have a button with the type of button on click event, and it's gonna be document that get element by ID. Inside of the parentheses, inside of the single quotes, we're gonna have subscribe. We're gonna change it to a style that display, and it's gonna be black with a class attribute, this one, and then it's gonna be say subscribe. So we're gonna have this button here, subscribe, and this is what we have here. So now this is the end of the intro menu. So this is the end of the div element here. We're gonna have the another div, another end div, like that. And finally, we're almost done. We're gonna have the subscribe model. So we're gonna have the div element with the ID attribute is gonna be subscribe, as we saw it previously. We're gonna have the class, we're gonna have the class attribute of w3 model, like this. And inside of that, we're gonna have more divs element. Inside of that, we're gonna have the unclick event with the document that get element by ID. So we still need to do we just have this part here. We still need to go into the JavaScript part. So we are here into this point. And okay, unclick event is going to be document that get element by ID, and the ID is going to be subscribe. Okay, so we have that up to this point, and let's just keep this footer to the end, and let's move to the script element. So let's go from lines 317 to 333. Inside of the script element, this is JavaScript, we're gonna have the toggle between hiding and showing black replies and comments. So we're gonna have document that get element by ID, and the ID is gonna be my btn that click. Okay, so the function again is gonna be my function. We're gonna have the ID as a parameter. We open curly braces. We're gonna have the var statement declaration x that is gonna be assigned to the document that get element by ID, and the ID is gonna be ID that we just grab it. So the if statement, the if else statement, if x that class name that index of, we're using the w3 show close parentheses, is equal to -1, we open curly braces, x that class name plus equal, so we're open double quotes w3 show, else is gonna be x that class name equal is assigned to x that class name that replace, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have double quotes space w3 show comma, and then an empty set of double quotes. So this is the first function. The second function is gonna be like function, the function like function, and again we're using camel notation, open curly braces. We're gonna have the x that style that font weight, and it's gonna be assigned to bold, and the x that inner HTML is gonna be assigned to this check mark liked. And this is the end for the HTML part, and the only thing left, it will be just the footer element with the class attribute, and then you have the h element, the href, and it's gonna go to the number sign, and then we're gonna have the paragraph. So we have this context, and we're gonna have an a element, and inside of this href is gonna be this URL, and the target is gonna be underscore blank. And this is pretty much the end of this website, this static website. So let me do it again. So this is the one that we are using. Let's open it, and this is how it should look like if you're following along. And I move a little bit fast because, as you saw, there are 336 lines of code. But yeah, this is pretty much how it's looking up to this point. This is the footer. For example, I added this YouTube button here, sending us to my YouTube channel. So if I click it here, it's sending us to, I have this button here for Instagram, it's sending us here. I have a button Twitter, so you can check out that too. This is our header. You have the subscribe button. Okay, so that is the only part where we're using JavaScript. We're using these images. We're using this context here. You can put more. You can put more the context information. You can put more theory about it. I just left it very basic here. You have the likes. You have the replies here. In this case, George is posting something. And again, I do not own any of these pictures, so all credit goes to whoever own it. I'm just using it for educational purposes. And then you have the subscribe here. We have the social media, and yeah, I mean, this is a basic HTML static website.